forgive you for abandoning her boy. She would never even believe.
Belly, stomach, what are you doing? No, this is not an advertisement for Pepto-Bismol. If you clicked on this video, you might be wondering, why do people hate Belly so much? What did she do wrong? Well, I'm here to tell you that it is for one reason, multiple reasons, kind of, but the main factor of it boils down really to one reason, and one reason alone, which is the accountability factor and lack thereof.
We're seeing other people. We thought you were over it. Just go! Go! You can't blame me either for things that happened because you were away. You can't stand me, period. It's not my fault.
Isn't it?
Where is it? Where is the accountability? Is it in the room? Is it in the room with us? Because I don't see it. I have yet to see it in 3 seasons. We are 1 episode away from the finale, and there's still no accountability. I really hope I can eat my words come this coming week when we get the finale. But should it really have taken the finale, the last and final episode of this series, for her to take accountability for her actions? Probably not. This video is to really go over in full detail of all of the times Belly has not taken accountability, all the times that she could have, all of the things that she has messed up throughout the series, but yet doesn't reap what she sows, really. Doesn't face any consequences to her actions whatsoever. In order to understand this entirely before I really get into it in this video, is that there's been this discourse online, right, of people only blaming Belly for the shit show that is this show. The shit show that is this dramatic ass love triangle between 2 brothers. And there have been quite a few fans who have noticed, hey, this is not all Belly's fault. People are out here blaming Belly. Belly is taking so much brunt of this, but yet the 2 brothers are also accountable. The 2 brothers have also made their choices and decisions to be part of this messed up love triangle. What about them? What about the flack for them? To that point, I have to say I agree. To that point, I have to say that I do not think Belly takes sole responsibility for this. I 100% agree that Jeremiah and Conrad also share contribution to this, and they should also be held accountable for their actions for this whole messed up love triangle. Completely agree. It's not totally on Belly. However, the reason why a lot of people online are hating this character more so in particular is because of exactly this. Is because in the show, nobody holds her accountable for her actions, and therefore, we as a viewer are left frustrated and angry at her because she's taken no damn responsibility. The reason why so many people have rallied behind Conrad is because the show treats him as the only person to hold accountability for the mess that takes place in the love triangle. No one's pointing the finger at Belly in the show. Without further ado though, let's go over all of it, because there have also been people who have said that, oh, well, in season 2, Belly was sorry and Belly was better in season 2, and I'm sitting here like, actually, no. I'm here today with some more receipts and to explain that much more the Belly problem. Cannot emphasize enough, she is not the sole problem of this love triangle. The way I'm going to break this down is first going over how Belly handles the situation with Jeremiah and Conrad in terms of her feelings and her lack of accountability there for her feelings. Then I'm going to go over her lack of accountability for how she treated Conrad and how she treats Conrad. Then I'm going to go over her and Laurel, because there's some stuff between her and Laurel too. And then I'm going to go over the growth and the growth episode that she was supposed to have. Yeah. So starting with season 2, this is post all of Belly's mess from season 1. Season 1, we're not really going to talk about because she's doing the things in season 1 that she needs to be held accountable for by season 2. First of all, can I just highlight what this queen says right here?
You're kind of a girl too. Cam, Conrad, now Jeremiah. You're playing with a lot of hearts, Belly.
Clocked it. Clocked it. She was the one from the start. She saw right through Belly. This line right here, ooh. Ooh, still holds true, Nicole. Miss you, Nicole. Starting in season 2, where we come to find that she has made out with Jeremiah a couple times in season 1 to then belly flop, and go over to Conrad by the end of the season. By this point, Jeremiah caught feelings for her, even though they like literally didn't even date, but they made out a couple times, and that meant a lot to him, you guys. Because of this, and because she goes and ends up fully dating, fully being in a relationship with Conrad a few months after all of that kerfuffle happened in the summer, the brothers are no longer really talking to each other. They're at odds with each other because they both have feelings for this girl and both just can't put that aside. What a struggle. What a struggle it is being Belly, having two hot brothers fight for you. Hey? Could not be me. Could not be I. The first pivotal scene right here in season 2 of really holding Belly accountable is Steven. They're at this party and he calls her out. He calls her out on her shit, being like, bro, I can't even talk to either of the brothers because of your shit. Because of what you've done.
They won't even text me back anymore because of you.
It's not my fault.
Isn't it?
You made out with Jeremiah and then you just had to be with Conrad.
I was in love, Steven. Like, out of my mind in love. What was I supposed to do?
To this point, I have to kind of side with Belly here in the sense of yes, but she was in love with Conrad, so what really was she supposed to do? I do agree that she was in her right to pursue Conrad. Do you think Jeremiah was more of the culprit of blowing that up over proportion? Because again, they literally only made out a couple times. But on his end, I do understand how he feels like he was toyed with. So on Belly's end, that would have been the moment to be like, yes, Steven, I messed up. Yes, I messed up and I'm paying for it. I am paying for it. But instead, well, what was I supposed to do? I was in love. And then she storms away. And then Taylor goes and comforts her. And then she does say, sorry, you know, it's true, I did mess up. So at the very least, we get a little bit of remorse and regret there.
Right, I mean, I ruined things with both of them.
She acknowledges that she messed up a little bit there. But again, with the characters and how the characters treat Belly is so frustrating because Taylor's still just comforting her, which I get as a friend why you would want to be comforting in that moment, but still, she basically doesn't allow Belly to have full accountability there.
I wish I hadn't started any of it. No, you don't. Yes, I do. You don't.
Even more so later on in the car when she's talking to Steven, she's like blaming Steven for picking a fight with Belly and defending Belly, which again, great friend, but also let Belly take accountability. Everything Steven was saying was facts. It was true. So don't come so hard at Steven now. That's just the world of The Summer I Turned Pretty. And we're gonna notice a pattern here. After all of this, she gets confronted by Jeremiah in another episode. And she, again, does say sorry, but she says sorry weirdly for the funeral.
I'm sorry. Sorry about everything. About what happened at the funeral.
Not for breaking his heart and messing with him. It was such an odd choice. The person she should have apologized to for the funeral was Conrad and her mom even, but she chooses to apologize to Jeremiah for that, even though I don't even think we see his reaction to the whole funeral blowout. Her and Jeremiah continue to go back and forth, and Jeremiah is essentially telling her, yeah, you think I'm mad about the funeral? It's all the other stuff, Belle. I had feelings for you, and then you just went around and dated my brother. And then, again, she has this weird ability, and I've noticed this in people too, with, you know, the way people apologize or the way people get defensive. It's very normal, okay? It's very common for people to be this way, but it's just frustrating to watch it on TV. She has this habit of deflecting in different ways. So the way she deflects here is instead of fully saying to him, yes, I know I messed with your feelings and I'm so sorry about that. I was figuring it out with Conrad, but I shouldn't have made you part of that when I knew I was figuring out my feelings for Conrad. I shouldn't have put you in that position in the first place. There's no words of her actually realizing her actions and apologizing for exactly what she's done to that person. Instead, she goes off and says something along the lines of, well, we didn't mean to hurt you, and you were seeing other people, so we thought that you were gonna be fine.
The last thing that I wanted was to hurt you. We're seeing other people. We thought you were over it.
Instead of just owning up and saying, you know, hey, I did mess up and I apologize for that. They do end up making up because this show likes to have Belly get off easy, I guess. I mean, to be fair, she's the main character, so I guess her being the main character means something. Then throughout this season, how she handles this love triangle with Jeremiah and Conrad, this is just wild to me. When I was rewatching this, I was like, oh, so we're not self-aware. So we really don't give a shit if we're going for brothers now. We really don't want to expand our horizons outside of this family. Got it. To further this mess, though, she then starts going for Jeremiah this season after being with Conrad for like basically a year. So around this, so for like 7 months. Okay, so I guess not even quite a year, but still. For fully having a relationship with Conrad, okay? 7 months is a lot in teenage years, okay? She actively starts falling for Jeremiah throughout this season, and this is where I'm like, I think she's a little cracked. I think this is pretty cracked behavior, Belly, to be honest, because take your pickings, girl. Like, there's other families, girl. We really start seeing it develop more in Jeremiah's episode. I believe it's episode 5. And they almost kiss in the theater. And then this is the one that really gets me here, that I'm like, girl, you've really lost the plot. Is when they're in a circle doing truth or dare, and Sky asks them to kiss, and then Belly's looking at Jeremiah all like, and then Jeremiah's like, yeah, nah, it's stupid. This is a stupid game anyway. Let's just not do that. And then Belly's like, girl, the self-awareness when she goes and then talks to Jeremiah and then asks him, why didn't you kiss me? Do I smell?
Do I have BO or something?
Do you not have some brain cells?
Why don't you want to kiss me?
You're not getting it. It's not clocking to you.
The way that you were so willing to kiss Jeremiah in front of Conrad, who you had a full relationship with, who is sitting not 2 feet away from you guys. Are you kidding? In this moment, I have to give Jeremiah the credit here, because even he was like, come on, Belly. Come on, Belly.
Don't do that. Just stop.
I mean, he doesn't even really give his own explanation, let's be considerate of Conrad, to be fair, either. But at the very least, he was willing to not do that. And yet Belly was pushing for them to do that.
I've never seen you turn down a truth or dare kiss.
You were with Conrad for like 7-8 months, and now you want to kiss his brother in front of his face, the brother whose heart you broke. Oh my god, this is where I'm really like, no, Belly frustrates me. This is why we're all pissed, because yes, you're starting to develop these feelings for Jeremiah, sure. But again, in the back of her head, she knows she still has these feelings for Conrad, but just pushes them away. This is what gets her in trouble, and this is what ends up leading to a freaking 4-year cycle of mess that didn't need to happen because of this. Scene really pissed me off, that I'm like, Belly, be so for real right now. And then, again, to really piss me off, we get that episode where Belly fully confesses her feelings for Jeremiah, and this is where I was really losing it. This is where I was raging, because what the hell, girl?
Are you ever gonna give me a second chance?
This is her actively pursuing Jeremiah now, and actively being like, no, I want you.
I want something real. I want you.
Do you still have feelings for me? Because I have feelings for you. Conrad is no more. There's no more Conrad. I just want it to be me and you.
There is nothing left between me and Conrad.
I don't think I can take it if you change your mind like last time.
I wouldn't do that.
Ugh. This is her. This is her, you guys. This is Belly's mess. Again, yes, Jeremiah participated. Belly, this is your decision, yeah. With piss poor judgment of A, knowing that they're brothers, and that you're now going after the guy that you were dating for 8 months, 7-8 months. You're going for his brother. Now it's a problem, okay, because you had a full relationship with Conrad. Even though she tries to undermine it in season 3, and in season 3 she says, she's just like, oh, well, we were together as teenagers. You had a full relationship. You were in love. Like, you actually were. What? That's crazy. That's crazy, Belly. Stomach. I see you, stomach. Yeah, we need some Pepto-Bismol in this bitch because it's upsetting me. Stomach is upsetting me. She ultimately chooses Jeremiah. And fast forward, she has now had a 3-4 year relationship with Jeremiah. I keep forgetting the timeline. That's a long time. Now that is a long time now, I'll admit. However, she again has these suppressed emotions, and this is the main crux of what causes all of these issues, is Belly having her suppressed emotions and trying to erase Conrad, like Jeremiah so eloquently says. And when they break off the wedding, and the way they break off the wedding, girl, the way I cheered, girl, I was like, yeah! She's suppressing her emotions. She fully knows that she's suppressing her emotions and not just getting over Conrad, trying to get over Conrad by using Jeremiah, which is also, that's not a nice thing to do. Not a nice thing to use people. But she knows that she's suppressing her feelings after Christmas. At that point, she was reminded of Conrad at Christmas time, why she was in love with him. She's still in love with him, but she still chooses to suppress it. And that is a main issue of why there's this whole love triangle mess, is because you won't admit your feelings. Because you won't face your feelings, girl. Like, that's so unhealthy. With that, it pisses me off because literally no one holds her accountable for this to this day. And I doubt it in the finale because they want to make the finale all happy and everything. Not Taylor, not her mom, not Steven. Taylor only ever says to her really of, you know, are you sure that you should be going through with this? It's clear that you probably still have emotions for Conrad. She tells Belly this, but it's very much not like what you did was f***ed up. It's very much, oh, as a friend, I'm giving you this piece of advice because I don't want to see you making a terrible mistake.
I don't think that you should. I honestly, I don't think that you want to. You said about Conrad at your bachelorette.
Yeah, well, I was high when I said
No.
you are the last person that I would ever come to for relationship advice. You are too selfish to ever put anyone before yourself.
Whereas freaking Conrad, he always has to get yelled at and take the brunt of everything throughout this whole season 3, and I think that's why people are that much more pissed off and the anger towards Belly is heightened this season, is because of this whole wedding nonsense and that she keeps defending Jeremiah over Conrad when it's like, what the hell did Conrad ever do? We're gonna get to it. Everyone knows that she still has feelings for Conrad after Christmas, and then she has a way out. She has a way out now because Jeremiah cheated on her, or maybe not cheated, but he slept with someone else while they were not even barely broken up for within like 2 days, which is still wrong, and he kept that from her, which is still wrong. And so she had her easy way out to no longer be with him, to be like, okay, well, now that happened, that probably happened for a reason, and now I can face my feelings for Conrad and either be single and just work on myself as a person after this time, or maybe I should confront Conrad and these emotions and confront it head on. No. Instead, she accepts to get engaged. She gets herself engaged, and not only that, but wants to be married within the span of 2 months. Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Belly, at this point, yes, girl, it is your fault. You had a chance. You had an opportunity. Not just that, but obviously she could have broken up with Jeremiah at any point, right? After Christmas, as soon as she felt those feelings, she could have plucked up the courage and just broke it off with Jeremiah. I still have things to figure out for myself. I can't be with you, and I know that I still have feelings for your brother. I can't do that to you as a person. If she truly loved Jeremiah as a person, she wouldn't do that to him. In her head, I get it that she thinks she's doing the right thing by being with him. She's trying not to break his heart, and by being with him and not breaking his heart, that she's doing the good thing, but she's not doing the good thing. She knows she has feelings for his brother. That's not the good thing. The good thing to do would be to let him go, to let him be happy. If you love him and want him to be happy, then he should be happy with someone else that makes him happy and only loves him, and that's it. She just continued that relationship, had her way out, and didn't take it. So at that point, that's when I was personally really pissed at her, because I'm like, dude, like you're just doing this to yourself at this point. That was frustrating, right? So that's why with this whole rest of the season, it's just frustrating to see, because we know she has feelings, and then she has all these interactions with Conrad and still has feelings, and we see that as the audience, but she just wants to keep running her Delulu mind. And then we can't be friends. Iconic! That was so good. That was so good. We have that moment, and then I get it. It's pretty far in. You know, you're about to get married in like 2 days. So at that point, I understand Belly in the sense of I feel screwed right now because I realized that I have feelings for Conrad still, and I can't run away from them. But yet, I am marrying his brother in 2 days. Either way, I'm going to hurt someone. It would have been a tough thing for her to do. I get it, to just walk away. But she should have walked away. To kind of wrap this section up, after Conrad admits his feelings for her, she rejects them, and then we have the whole wedding fiasco that doesn't end up happening. It's still all put on Conrad, and I absolutely hate that. And that's the show's fault, and Jenny Han and her writing, I guess. Putting it on Conrad. I don't know if they subconsciously were doing that on purpose to make us root for Conrad in a way and gain him the points, but it's like, because why is this guy getting all the blame when Belly, you yourself admitted those 2 nights ago that you do still have feelings for Conrad? Why are we putting it all on him? Oh, he actually did the decent thing of at least being honest. You're still not being honest, girl. You're still lying. You're still a liar. What's really frustrating with the show is that she herself even blames Conrad and projects onto Conrad, but doesn't take any accountability herself. And when Conrad confronts her the next day and is telling her, you know, you're the one that's heartless, I'm like, yeah, you are. Correct. And she's like, well, what do you mean? What do you mean? And then he's like, yeah, what about Christmas? What about the other day? What about Peaches? Peachgate. She's like, nothing. Felt nothing.
Nothing.
At that point, right? Like, you can't help but be frustrated as a viewer because she's not being honest. And she's just projecting everything onto Conrad and just blaming everything on Conrad when you yourself are feeling that way too, girl.
Just go! Go! Dated for a couple months when I was in high school. And I'm somehow supposed to know that you're still not over that?
At the very least, what I would have been okay with seeing is Belly at least admitting to it, saying, okay, Conrad, sure, maybe I do have feelings for you still. However, what do you expect me to do about it? What do you want me to do about it? I'm supposed to marry your brother in a few days. Today or whatever, right? What am I to do here? This is so bad. Have a raw human moment of, yes, you're right, I have feelings for you, but look at this mess. Look at this mess. What am I supposed to do? Have that dialogue. Have that conversation, but no, they don't. Then still, up until the point of them breaking off the wedding, she was still pleading with Jeremiah to still marry her, despite her admitting that she has feelings for Conrad still, and is still like, but I choose you, but I want you. And it's like, dude, do you not realize how that's still messed up, though? The self-awareness, the lack of awareness. You really think that that's enough for a person, and you think that's nice on Jeremiah's part to give to Jeremiah half of yourself? Really? Really, Belly? Again, there's just all of this mess that boils down to Belly. Again, I can't stress enough, like, I know Jeremiah knew what he was getting himself into. He did. Conrad shouldn't have admitted his love 2 days before the wedding, but at the end of the day, I still call a lot of this being Belly's fault. A lot of it is really her fault of trying to keep Jeremiah with her when she very well knows she has feelings for his brother, suppressing her emotions, not admitting to her emotions, deflecting it onto others, projecting it onto others, and making it a Conrad issue when it's a both of you issue, and not taking any accountability herself, and for her actions, and for her choices, and for her mistakes. That was just one section. I feel bad now, low-key, because I had like 2-3 other sections. That's just one, you guys. On the other note, the way she handles Conrad himself, I find terrible and horrendous, because his mom was dying, right? She was dying, and while they were together, him and Belly, she was on her last leg. So he's depressed. And yet, Belly makes it all about her, and now he's not there for her, and blames the breakup completely on him, and that he broke her heart, and to this day, stands by that he broke her heart and treated her terribly. His mom was... She was I can't. I actually can't with this one, you guys. It's not just her is the thing. It's the world of the Samurai Turned Pretty. I don't know if they just did a piss poor job of showing how he treated Belly during that time, because they make it seem like he treated her like a monster, to be honest. They made it seem like he was throwing furniture, cussing her out or something, and lashing out at her and fighting at her. Like, they make it seem like that. But he wasn't. From what we see, he wasn't. I think he was simply just depressed and that he needed space from her, and he was more just zombie mode and just wasn't emotionally available for her, which it is fair that that would be hard on the partner, like on Belly's end, that would be hard to deal with, but yet there's a huge lack of understanding here on her part, because again, his mom was dying. In the first season, he was being wish-washy for sure, but for the time that they were together and for the reason for their actual breakup and when they actually break up, I just don't understand why they treat him like a freaking villain. They treat him like he's Dark freaking Vader or some shit, like he's Lord Voldemort himself reincarnated just because he forgot a corsage. That's so stupid to me. I'm sorry. When you rewatch the breakup scene itself, Belly is the one to say, well, it's over, isn't it?
If you won't say it, I will. We're over?
Belly.
Don't say anything.
And she technically is the one to break up with him. Granted, he doesn't do much to stop her. So I'll give it that he doesn't really do much to fight against that. But it's just insane to me how Belly and the show treats it like, A, he broke up with her.
Belly, don't leave it like this.
You were the one leaving. Like,
No. Belly, wait.
They continuously say that he dropped her, he broke up with her, he broke her heart, when we see it ourselves that Belly is the one that broke up with it. I think that in itself pisses me and everybody else off towards Belly of her handling Conrad, and that she constantly blames him for their breakup, constantly blames him for treating her terribly. Where is your empathy or sympathy? I get the two confused. Where is your empathy? That's what I would have loved to have seen. At the very least, Belly admit that at one point of saying, hey, I'm actually sorry for not being there for you when your mom was dying. That I should have been the one there for you when she was dying. And I didn't realize that at the time because I was a teenager, which is fair too, that she was a teenager. But now that she's an adult, I would have loved for her to self-reflect and realize, hey, I wasn't there for him. Yeah, that he was emotionally unavailable for me, but that was his mom that was dying, that he was going through that. And so I should have been more patient and understanding at the time that that's what he was going through. And it wasn't like I was doing anything wrong. It was just him simply being depressed. We don't get that. And then for the rest of it, for the Conrad treatment, it's just, again, her just consistently being mad at Conrad and saying all these things against Conrad. The beach scene, I will give more context. I know for sure in the book on that scene, she was just saying those mean things, not meaning it, and that it was just to push him away because at that point she felt like she was screwed because she had the wedding. So she was only doing that so that he would not be in love with her anymore. It was the only reason she was doing that. So I'll give grace there. I just wish the show did a better job illustrating that with her internal dialogue, because it does come across to us viewers that she's just being mean. I think, yeah, the main thing is just the way she views Conrad with their breakup, with how he treated her and everything. Is just so bizarre. And then finally, Laurel. Okay, I'll just briefly touch on this one because I feel like this is all just like belly slander, but honestly, I'm getting tired of talking about belly slander now. There's so much of it. I'm like, I didn't think there'd be this much. And with Laurel, it was more in particular in season 2, but also season 3, her rage crash out moment too, when Laurel's trying to advise her against marrying Jeremiah. But her deflection skills and lack of accountability skills are more so showcased in season 2, because it's after Susanna's death. Belly is out of volleyball, her grades are low, things are falling apart for her in her life, and Laurel tries to have a decent conversation with her about being accountable for that, actually, and taking responsibility for that. And Belly is like, well, Susanna just died.
Sorry, Mom. You know, Susanna died, remember?
You don't get to use Susanna's death as an excuse.
Laurel's like, okay, but life moves on. You can't just dwell on that. You have to continue going. You can't just make that your excuse for everything.
It's about taking responsibility for yourself, even when things are hard.
And then Belly still deflects and she puts it back on Laurel and is like, yeah, well, you haven't been there for me. What about you and your book? And you haven't been there for me for volleyball.
You want to talk about taking responsibility? You won't even promote your book. You can't blame me either for things that happened because you were away.
And then she huffs away. And then that's it. And then they have another heated debate later on that season where Laurel slaps her. And I'm not saying that parents should slap their kids. That's not what I'm saying. But I may or may not have found great satisfaction when I watched that. They have this whole argument too after Belly and the boys and everyone trash Susanna's house from the party. And she finds out that Belly's been there the whole time. She didn't know that. And then again, instead of taking any accountability, she does it again and deflects back to Laurel.
Susanna,
Stop it. I can't stand to hear you use her as an excuse one more time.
you can't stand me, period. I know you hate me for it, okay? But you will never hate me as much as I hate myself.
And you know what happens? Laurel actually ends up apologizing to Belly, and she's the one that says she was in the wrong and that she should have been there for Belly all this time.
Susanna would never forgive you for abandoning her boys. She would never even believe.
I understand in the point of an adult and as a mom, even though I'm not a mom yet, but I do get it in the sense of you're the adults, that's your kid, so you want to make things right with your kids. So I love Laurel, but we still don't get any accountability from Belly though, which is at the very least what we wanted. What Laurel was trying to do was just have her take responsibility for her actions, for her messiness, but she still doesn't do that. We just have this nice heartfelt moment between Belly and Laurel where Laurel is the one making up with her and saying all the nice things, but Belly doesn't say a single one. Do you forgive me? But that's it. That's all she does. Well, to wrap this up, I really wanted to see growth in Belly, and I thought we were going to get that in these last few episodes now that she's in Paris, supposedly independent. I thought that was going to happen, and I thought that that was going to be amazing writing too, because we love seeing development, we love seeing character growth, even if it's within a few episodes. That's so satisfying to see. So all of these issues that we've been having with Belly throughout all of these seasons, I thought we would come to a beautiful conclusion with that and a beautiful full circle moment with that, to have her maybe go see a therapist. I love go to therapy. Just like have her talk to someone, more likely a therapist, but someone, and have that realization of, hey, a lot of that was my fault. And I need to take accountability for my actions and the part I played in that mess. It wasn't just Conrad. It was also me. And I need to own up to that. Have her be single and learn that. And then by the finale, have her, we'll see. I really hope. This video is going to come out and I'm going to I'll say something if they do that or not in the finale, because that will be great if at least in the finale we get that. I will love it if we get that in the finale. But we get instead an episode of her running around Paris looking for her bag using AirTag. And then we get the next episode of her just not really doing anything but sleeping with another guy, getting herself into a situationship not even 4 months after her wedding kerfuffle. No! I'm not here for that. I'm not here for that. And that much worse that she is still suppressing her feelings for Conrad and still not fully realizing how that has caused so much harm and the damage that she's done from that, and not realizing that and owning that and telling the truth and saying, yes, I still have feelings for this man. No, she has those letters from him, refuses to answer him, and still trying to ignore her feelings. And then Taylor, with the worst advice, like she always does, why don't you go for Benito? She's like, I feel like I'm gonna hurt him. And Taylor's like, well, that's inevitable. And I'm like, actually, that's avoidable, actually. Because, bitch, if I knew I still had feelings for someone, if I was in love with someone, I'm not gonna start a thing with someone else. I can choose to stay single and try to get over that myself, take my own time, I'm on my own for that. Or if I actually feel like I have feelings for someone else above the guy that I thought I had feelings for, then I can pursue that. But Belly damn well knows she doesn't have like that strong of feelings for Benito. So it's like, Huh? Yet again, using a man to get over her feelings for Conrad. You're repeating the same cycle, girl, just with another outside the family. You still shouldn't use people. That's why I'm so frustrated too, up to this day, up to this finale with Belly and her character and her non-development, because even while in Paris, where I would have loved to have seen development, it's still not there. It's still not in the room with us. She has still not taken accountability for her actions. She's still not apologized and been on an apology. I mean, she did say sorry to Jeremiah, so I guess there's that, but not Conrad. I guess we might be waiting for that for the finale. Fingers crossed. Still with the Benito thing, I'm just like, is that necessary? Wasn't necessary. I know it was in the book. It technically was in the book, but that was a change I definitely could have had. Is instead of her getting with a guy and having a situationship, have her just go to therapy and realize her actions and work through suppressing her emotions and realize she shouldn't suppress her emotions and feelings. So, but no, we don't get any of that. Hopefully by the finale we can be cheering and saying a different story of how Belly thankfully has taken accountability for some stuff and has realized the errors to her ways. Hopefully. Hey, life thoughts. Ew, I look so cracked. Post-finale. How are we feeling? I, for one, am feeling so many emotions. I am, for one, very happy that we got a happy ending and a Conrad ending. How are we feeling about the accountability? Quick thoughts would say that they, of course, didn't get into full detail like how I would have wanted. I definitely would have wanted her to fully have her own speech and fully have her own moment of, I'm so sorry, Conrad, that I wasn't there for you while you were grieving your mom and that I didn't understand at the time because I was a teenager. I just panicked and blah, blah, blah. I wanted more of a speech from her of accountability for not being there when he was depressed, believing it all to be a her problem when it was actually just Conrad being depressed about his mom dying. I wanted more from that, but I am happy that at the very least we got that moment of her saying that she was a brat and acknowledging that she was a brat. At least she does acknowledge it to an extent. She called herself the villain a couple times in this episode, guys, so that makes me think, okay, so she acknowledges, like, she is acknowledging her role that she did play in here. I can be satisfied with it. Definitely does come off that way, that she's had time to reflect on it and then she does realize that she wasn't in her finest hour for choosing between two brothers. Definitely would have wanted more, of course would have wanted more, but we only have one freaking episode left. We only had a finale left, so I knew I wasn't expecting too much. I wasn't expecting her to fully go, no, I'm so sorry, I was terrible, but I honestly was not expecting that. But from what we got, it was decent. I'm just happy Conrad is endgame. What are your guys' thoughts though on her line of saying that she is still that same girl? I like her acknowledging that she's always going to be in love with Conrad and finally not suppressing her feelings anymore. That was obviously all amazing, but I've seen some comments already. This is literally within the first day. I've seen some comments already saying that they don't like her choice of words there, of her being the same girl, that she will always be the same girl, instead of, okay, but you are grown and you are mature. Maybe you could have said that I am a changed woman, but I will always be the girl that loves Conrad. Maybe that could have been a better choice of words, but we're reading too into it. I did see some people complaining about it, that they're thinking, okay, well, so you didn't change or grow or learn anything. Like, you're still the same person. I think overall mixed. Let's say that. In terms of Belly as a character and her growth and development by the finale, now that it's all wrapped up, I would say mixed emotions about it. I feel like she does acknowledge her role and is accountable for that, but yeah, I don't know. But yet she still stayed in Paris and was still staying there, avoiding everyone. It literally took Conrad being there and facing her face to face for her to acknowledge all that. I don't know if you guys would have preferred if maybe there was some time passing and she did take her own time to finally own up to it and face everybody herself. I don't know if you guys would have preferred that. Again, this is all like pretty much first thoughts, so I have to simmer with it too. But these are my initial thoughts, is that I'm not upset. I think there was at least some things that she said in this episode that I was happy about, that I'm like, yes, Belly, yes, thank you. I think overall it was pretty good. I think overall it was decent. This is still listing off all the reasons of why people are so mad at her. Still holds true to everything else that has happened throughout these seasons and why people are so angry at this character. You know your thoughts. I can't iterate enough. She's not the only one responsible for this. She's not the only one. It's also Jeremiah and Conrad's fault too. They participated. They had their role, but we need Belly to own up to her shit, okay? Let me know what pissed you off the most about Belly. Still love her. I honestly, even though all of this pisses me off, I still love her. I still love her as a character. Obviously, Lola Tong, she's amazing. She's gorgeous. Love her. Thank you all so much for watching. Until next time. Mwah.